You've been told your whole life that kindness earns respect. Be polite, be understanding, put others first. But psychology tells a far more uncomfortable truth. Some forms of kindness don't make people respect you. They quietly train people to dismiss you. Research from Harvard's Department of Social Psychology shows that certain nice behaviors can reduce perceived competency by up to 57%. Not because people are cruel, but because human brains are constantly assessing status, boundaries, and self-value. These habits don't make you warm, they position you at the bottom of the social hierarchy without you realizing it. In this video, we'll break down 5 common acts of kindness that secretly cause people to disrespect you, and what to do instead. Let's start with the most damaging one, the habit almost everyone thinks is polite. Act 1. Over-apologizing for normal requests. Sorry to bother you. Sorry to ask this. Sorry, but could you? This sounds considerate. It feels harmless. But research from Yale's Communication Lab shows that preemptive apologies prime others to view your needs as inconveniences rather than legitimate requests. In workplace studies, people who apologize before asking for reasonable things were 43% less likely to receive timely responses, interrupted nearly 3 times more often in later conversations. When you apologize for existing, you're not being kind. You're signaling that your needs are burdensome, and people adjust their behavior accordingly. You're teaching others, subtly but consistently, that your time, voice, and needs matter less. The alternative? State your needs clearly and calmly, without apology. Polite does not mean submissive. Act 2. Helping without being asked. This one feels generous. Jumping in, taking over, let me help you with that. But psychology sees something else. Research from Princeton shows that unsolicited help is often perceived as a status move, not kindness. It can signal, I don't trust your competence. In one organizational study, employees who frequently offered unasked for help were later described as condescending, micromanaging, approval-seeking, even when their intentions were good. When you help without being asked, you're not empowering others, you're undermining their autonomy. The alternative? Offer help without imposing it. Would you like support with this? That one question preserves respect for both of you. Act 3. Accepting poor treatment to keep the peace. This is where kindness becomes self-betrayal. Letting interruptions slide, ignoring dismissive comments, allowing boundaries to be crossed to avoid conflict. You think you're being mature, but research from Columbia University shows that 78% of observers interpret conflict avoidance as weakness, not kindness. In professional environments, people who tolerate disrespect experience increased interruptions, idea theft, and gradual loss of authority, because what you tolerate becomes the rule. Psychology is blunt here. Behavior that isn't corrected gets repeated and escalates. The alternative? Address issues calmly, immediately, and without emotion. Kindness does not require silence. Self-respect requires presence. Act 3. Accepting poor treatment to keep the peace. This is where kindness becomes self-betrayal. Letting interruptions slide, ignoring dismissive comments, allowing boundaries to be crossed to avoid conflict. You think you're being mature. But research from Columbia University shows that 78% of observers interpret conflict avoidance as weakness, not kindness. In professional environments, people who tolerate disrespect experience increased interruptions, idea theft, gradual loss of authority. Because what you tolerate becomes the rule. Psychology is blunt here. Behavior that isn't corrected gets repeated and escalates. The alternative? Address issues calmly, immediately, and without emotion. Kindness does not require silence. Self-respect requires presence. Act 4. Excessive availability. Always answering, always available, always accommodating. It feels generous, but Stanford research shows that people who are constantly available are seen as 62% less important, 47% less competent. Why? Because scarcity creates value, and availability without limits signals that your time has none. Teams don't respect unlimited access, they exploit it. The alternative: set clear, reasonable boundaries. I can help tomorrow. I'm available during these hours. Boundaries don't reduce respect, they create it. Act 5. Downplaying your achievements. It was nothing. I just got lucky. Anyone could have done it. You think you're being humble, but NYU research shows that 83% of people interpret self-deprecation as insecurity, not modesty. When you minimize your achievements, you're not being humble. You're contradicting people's positive perception of you. And when your self-assessment is lower than theirs, they adjust downward. The alternative: accept recognition simply. Thank you. I worked hard on that. Confidence doesn't require arrogance, just honesty. The deeper psychology behind respect. All 5 of these behaviors share one hidden signal. They communicate that you don't value yourself. Social psychology calls this perceived value alignment. People treat you according to how you appear to treat yourself. This isn't cruelty, it's unconscious calibration. Columbia University research confirms that people instinctively match their level of respect to the self-worth others project. So when your behavior suggests low value, people respond accordingly, without realizing why. The Stoic solution: benevolent strength. The answer is not becoming cold, or rude, or selfish. The solution is kindness rooted in self-respect. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Modern psychology agrees. A Berkeley study found that individuals who combined warmth with clear boundaries were rated 89% higher in leadership potential, respected significantly more than those who were warm but boundaryless. True kindness comes from strength, not self-erasure. How to apply this without changing who you are? You don't need a personality overhaul. Use incremental boundary setting. This week, identify the one behavior you do most. Replace it with one respectful alternative. Expect mild resistance. Patterns are being rewritten. Discomfort is temporary. Respect is cumulative. Kindness and respect are not opposites. They're partners when balanced correctly. Stop apologizing for your existence. Stop shrinking to be liked. Be kind, be calm, be grounded, and let your behavior teach people how to treat you. Because real respect isn't begged for, it's quietly commanded. There is no man in this world without desire for women. Attraction is instinct. What changes is not the desire. What changes is how a man responds to it. Some delay it for the future. Some discipline it for commitment. Some are wounded by it and turn against it. So the real question is not, why don't you care for women? The real question is, which kind of man have you become? The architect, the selective man, or the incel? Be honest with yourself, because awareness is the first step towards change.